What's going on, guys? It's KingTutsPro back with another Final Cut Pro 10 tutorial. Guys, I'm going to be starting a new series on the channel. For today's video, it's going to be on Thursdays, technically. They're going to be Throwback Thursdays, where I show you guys some really cool retro or vintage or just past effects that need to be relived. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do this really cool, I would call it an old CRT or an old TV or an old vintage TV effect. So the first place I found this effect was in Post Malone's Congratulations music video, where in the beginning you can see that the video is playing and there's just these these red, white, and blue lines going down. That's not what I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys how to actually mask this out and put a video in there. So let's go ahead and jump into Final Cut Pro 10. So in Final Cut Pro 10, we have this effect that I created. So before I begin, I do want to give a shout out to Elsie Shireen Al-Karabi for sending me this footage to use in a Final Cut Pro 10 tutorial. And I want to show you guys the effect right now. So if I go and show you guys the effect, I'm going to go and push play. I'm not too sure where this is. I think it's Italy or something. And they're out just to shop. She needs to get new pants or something from the video that she did, which is pretty much a vlog. And we're going to make it look old. We're going to make it look like this. We're also going to go from something like that, okay? And it's going to go ahead and zoom out, or you can do it vice versa. But I'm going to show you guys how to do this. So I'm going to delete this, okay? And we have this here, okay? So this video is just a video that I found online, okay? A link will be down in the description if you guys want to go and use this. All right, guys, so this is the effect. So I'm going to choose a place here. It works best if the TV is still and it's not moving at all. So if you have it on a tripod or something, just so it's not moving, then that is awesome. So go ahead and make a selection with the range selection here. Click and drag to where you want to go ahead and start and end. So I'm going to do it till here. Maybe that's a little bit long. I'm going to do like 30 seconds or something, and I'm going to drag it in here, and I'm going to fit it to the timeline. So we have something like this, and if we push play, this is the original video that's playing from this TV. So this is what it would look like. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys don't have old CRTVs from the 80s or 70s. This is why we use Final Cut. So we go ahead and drag it in there, and then we're going to select the vlog. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drag this in here, and I'm going to drag this below this video because we're going to mask this out. And I'm going to mute this audio just for the sake of the tutorial. So we're going to go ahead and select the TV. We're going to get rid of this. We can go ahead and either disable this back clip here if you want, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Select this here, okay, and go into the inspector window and then go to the effects. In the effects, go to all video and audio and just type in mask. Click on draw mask and just drag it on that clip there with the TV. Now it says click to add a control point. So all you got to do from here is just select everything in here, okay? So just make a selection. So I'm going to click and drag. I would click and drag, as you can see, and that way it creates a smooth curved line. But if you don't, you can always go back and add a curved line, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So go ahead and quickly make a selection, and I'm going to do something like this and something like that. Go a little bit out of the TV here, because if you go through here, it kind of gives a reflection, okay? You don't want that. So go ahead and just kind of go out a little bit if you have to, but not where it's right here. So go ahead and just make the selection of the screen of the TV. So something like that, and click and drag again. So sweet, we have something like this, okay? Now, this obviously looks weird, so we're gonna go ahead and invert this. So now the video is playing through, okay? But as you can see, we have some of the blue left in here. As you can see, if I go through, you can see that there's some blue in there. So to fix that, all you gotta do is go back to this and just drag it up, as you can see. So something like that. And if you guys want to go ahead and make this either a smooth or linear point, all you got to do is click on it, and you can see it will turn into a sharp point, or you can right click on the anchor and choose smooth, and this will go ahead and smooth that out for you, which is a nice feature that Final Cut adds. So I'm going to drag this down a little bit, as you can see. Try to make it as smooth as possible. Some TVs may look different, so go ahead and just adjust it to your liking, and something like that. Sweet. So now you can't see any of it. So this looks perfect. So all we're going to do now is select the background video, go to the crop or go to transform, go ahead and just make this smaller so it fits in here. Now, you can go ahead and adjust this if you want. I'm just going to go ahead and place it around here. So I'm going to click on done. Sweet. So now we have this playing, and it looks normal, right? But it looks obviously like a video that would be filmed in this era. So we want to make it look old. So we're gonna go into the effects. Now this doesn't require any plugins, but if you guys want to use plugins, you can always use plugins, but I try not to use plugins as much as possible. So go ahead and go into the distortion and get rid of the mask, okay? And you can add some distortions here, but I think that's too extreme. So we're gonna go into the stylize, and we're gonna first add the aged film. So drag that onto your clip. So now we have something like this. Still looks too realistic, so we're gonna make this from realistic to iMovie green. Or sorry, we're gonna go to realistic green, and then we're gonna change the color adjustment so we can make it black and white or really yellow. I'm just gonna go with the, I'm gonna go in between. You can go ahead and adjust the green. I would go full. Scratches are pretty much these lines here, as you can see. That can be a nice touch. However, I'm not a big fan of scratches, so I'm just gonna add a little bit, like 2. And then the dust, we want to add a little bit of dust. The dust are pretty much the little dots you can see. It's really hard to see there. The hairs are really cool though. I like to use those in this effect here, and maybe make it more noticeable. The jitter amount, we want to go ahead and add an amount of jitter just to make it look like the TV is actually working and it's on. And then the focus variance, we can go ahead and adjust that as well. So if you push play, it looks something like that. Then we can also change the brightness variance. So we can, well, let's go ahead and increase that a little bit. So something like that. Oh, that looks pretty cool. So it looks like the TV is actually like working or something. So if you can push play, you can see how that looks. Looks pretty cool, right? Then you can do random seed. This also makes everything random, as you can see. Looks awesome to me, and this is just the first effect. The next effect we're gonna add is a bad TV. So drag that on there, and now you're gonna have this going on. But obviously that's way too much, so go to the amount and adjust that to your liking. I would just go a little bit, not a lot, probably like 5 or 4. And then the static type, I would do white noise, just to give it that, I don't know, that more filmy look to it, as you can see. And then the static mode or the blend mode, just keep it at screen. You can always adjust this depending on the video, and you can adjust the roll if you want, but I'm not gonna do that. So the next thing we can do is add a film grain. So we're gonna drag that on there and add some more film grain, because why not? So let's go to realistic grain, and we're only gonna add a little bit just because there's already a lot. So we're gonna go like 7. Sweet. And then let's see what else we can add. You can always add a line screen if you want, but I think from this, I think it looks pretty good. Now, the last thing that I would do is add a vignette. The reason we add a vignette is because it's too sharp around this, and most old TVs don't have that. They usually kind of fade in a little bit. So we're gonna drag this in here, and you can see now that there's like this kind of vignette or halo around it. So here we're gonna go ahead and adjust this to the middle of the TV, and this outer ring adjusts looks like the size here. You can adjust it here, as you can see. So I want to go in a little bit more, and then the fall off, which is this, I'm gonna drag this in a little bit more, so it's something like that. So I would go there. So I'm gonna increase this a little bit more, and then you can add a blur. I would always add a blur. Kind of go like 5 and push play. So now you can see how that looks like. And if it still doesn't look realistic, just move it in a little bit more. So that looks really cool. As you can see, it kind of looks realistic because there's some like reflection going on inside this little box here, which looks really cool. So that's the last thing that we need to do for the effects. Now the only thing we need to do from here is actually make a compound clip, so we can make everything zoom out and zoom in, or zoom in and zoom out. So select both of those clips, go to new compound clip, give it a name. I'm just gonna name this vintage TV and click OK. So that way it groups everything together, and things, when you resize them, they resize the whole clip or everything that's within this clip. So all we gotta do now is just go to the transform option, go to crop, and go to Ken Burns. Now, if you added Ken burns, just keep in mind that this will add it throughout the whole duration of it, of all the 37 seconds. For some of you guys, that may take a long time to zoom up and zoom down, so you may want to use some keyframes if you want it, you want more flexibility, or you can just literally just trim it down to like 10 seconds or something. I'm gonna do 10 seconds for the sake of this tutorial. If I go and I want it to start from the inside and out, but if you want it to start the opposite, just click this, and this will go ahead and reverse it. So click done. It's gonna start from there, and you can see it's zooming out, and you can see how that looks. It looks really, really cool, guys. Like I said, you can really experiment with this. Like, you can have lines going through here. You can always download effects to make it look even more realistic. But this is without using any plugins at all. This is just using everything that Final Cut Pro 10 offers you, which is pretty nice. So if you guys found this tutorial helpful in any way, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, turn on the bell notification, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.